Okay, so here's a quick video to talk you through some of my thoughts on this directed number task, why I like it and how I use it in the classroom. So I guess the main two reasons are this use of vocabulary that you get when you're working through this task. There's lots of opportunities to practice reading calculations using correct positive and negative and plus and minus terminology. And then secondly, it's an opportunity to work systematically and behave a little bit mathematically. So, give the students the task and see how they get on with it. Then at some point you want to encourage this systematic thinking. Okay, how can we ensure we've got all the combinations and we are working in a sort of logical manner? So you might want to prompt them towards making everything positive to begin with. So positive 2 plus positive 2 might be a first calculation that you write do, which obviously has an answer of 4. And then how many other combinations do you have where you have this plus symbol in the middle? And hopefully they'll realise that they have 4 different combinations, because they can either both be positive 2s, or you can make one negative, or you could make the other one negative, or they could both be negative. And again, you have plenty of opportunity to read these calculations out loud. Negative 2 plus negative 2 equals negative 4. And these two here in the middle are 0 pairs, so they both have an answer of 0. So we've worked systematically. We've got all the combinations where we've got addition going on. What about the subtraction ones? Well, it makes sense that we've got 4 different subtractions that we can do as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and again we've got positive 2 minus 2. Then we've got one of them negative, so let's make this one negative here. Then let's make the first one negative, and then let's make them both negative. So you can see how by working systematically easily lets you list all the combinations. Now what's nice here is when you work out these calculations that they match up with the original 4. Further sort of like exemplifying the fact that additions and subtraction is just like a shorthand notation for addition of the inverse. So when we do this first one, 2 minus 2, we get 0. 2 minus negative 2 is 4. Negative 2 minus 2 is negative 4. And then negative 2 minus negative 2 is 0. So we get these same answers, 0, 4, negative 4 and 0, which match up with all these. So what you can do is match up the additions with the equivalent subtractions. For example, say this one here, this 2 minus 2, is the same as 2 plus negative 2. These two here are equivalent calculations, and they all match up nicely, so you can have that discussion. Okay, so finally, how many different questions that we can make? Well, we can make 8 questions. And again, there's another opportunity to link with other area of maths here. Why is there definitely going to be 8 calculations here? Well, we've got 3 boxes, and in each box we've got 2 combinations, either a positive, negative, or a plus or minus. So it makes sense by using the product rule for counting here that we've got 2 times 2 times 2. We've got 8 combinations of questions, and here you can see these are all the 8. And how many different answers can we make? We can only actually make 3 different answers, because a lot of these calculations, all of the additions have an equivalent subtraction as well. Then you can do things like change the initial numbers. What happens? Do you still only get three combinations of answers? What if you had a third or a fourth number? Well, again, using the product rule for counting, if I add an extra number onto this task, say if I add an extra 2, how many different combinations will there be there? Because we're going to have an extra operation and we're going to have an extra positive or negative sign as well. So there's plenty of things you can do with this task for extensions as well. But it's just a really nice task I like to use sort of like towards the end of a directed number task, when you've done all the work with maybe the 2 colour counters, you've shown the equivalence of addition and subtraction, you've talked about additive inverses and things like that. This task kind of just brings it all together. So, as usual, post any thoughts and comments in the thread below.